And stay with 7 as we continue our special extended bulletin on Queensland's flood crisis.
Brisbane goes under. The CBD, Suncorp Stadium, iconic buildings, suburbs. A city at the mercy of an unstoppable flood. Residents flee their homes, knowing everything will be ruined when they return.
Actually, it's quite surreal and I feel devastated. It's horrible. That's my whole life.
Heartache in Ipswich. As the Bremer River reaches its peak, hundreds flee to evacuation centres. And the devastation at Grantham and Murphy's Creek. Survivors of the wall of water tell how they did it.
This is 7 News with Rod Young and Kay McGrath.
Good evening and welcome to this special extended edition of 7 News. Brisbane and Ipswich are tonight awash. Brisbane River is expected to peak at 4 a.m. The peak has been revised down to 5.2 metres, lower than the 74 flood. The Bremer River is expected to peak soon at 20.5 metres. More than 50 suburbs have gone under. 3,500 people have been evacuated. 12 people have lost their lives. Another 51 are missing. More than 100,000 homes and businesses have lost power. We'll go straight to Kay McGrath at Kangaroo Point. Kay, well, that river below you has caused such devastation today.
Certainly has, Rod, and good evening, everyone. The power of the Brisbane River is simply incredible. It's not just flooding homes and businesses, it's turning boats into battering rams, smashing them apart on bridges. To begin our coverage tonight, Peter Doherty is again above the river in the 7 News helicopter. Peter, tell us what you're seeing right now.
Good evening, Kay. Tonight, the River City is a city in the river. We'll start our coverage here. We're showing you a live shot now of the good...
Staggering indeed. Thank you, Peter Doherty, giving us that report from the 7 News helicopter. Well, the river's relentless march into houses began last night and it won't finish until early tomorrow. Residents in its path tried to save what they could, but the water was unforgiving.
Brisbane residents woke to a disarming sunrise and found their city under siege. Flood alerts sounded across waterfront suburbs. At Fairfield, this was the highest ground for one trapped local, salvaging what he could as his home was swallowed. The Brisbane River rose 1 metre overnight, flooding thousands of properties and ripping hundreds of boats from their moorings. A flotilla of pontoons hurtled downstream, smashing into inner city bridges. At Milton, Drift Restaurant, the former Oxley's on the river, slowly vanished before helpless staff.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work that we put into the restaurant, just gone. Just totally gone. It's heartbreaking just to stand here and watch it just all go.
Drift's floating cafe did go a short time later, dragged into deep water. It was no match for the current, an unstoppable destructive force as it slammed into the go-between bridge.
Yeah, it was epic. That was insane.
It's very brutal.
Yeah.
There are even bigger dangers on the river. The massive island barge anchored in the city and further upstream the Moggle ferry. The car carrier's been operating since the 1940s, but one of 2 lines securing it has broken. The Premier's asked the military to solve the problem.
With a view to potentially sinking or demolishing the ferry, we don't want to take the risk that this ferry will become effectively a torpedo coming down the river.
At Indooroopilly this morning, flames burned on the surface of the water. Propane tanks on the side of a flooded function centre had ruptured. The rear of the building was destroyed. It was soul-destroying in neighbouring communities.
Actually, it's quite surreal and I feel devastated. It's horrible. That's my whole life.
At Rosalie Village, homes and businesses went under.
It's heartbreaking in many ways, but at the end of the day, you can only, do what we can do, get stuff out as best we can.
I've never been in a flood, but we're all quite positive. We're all helping each other. It's great.
Canoes, kayaks, residents grabbed any vessel handy. Belongings were saved. Strangers came to the rescue of grateful flood victims.
Most of them, are all helping each other out. So, mate, it's fantastic.
Milton streets turned into boat ramps.
It's just my stuff gone. The house that we lived in.
This event will test us as it is testing people in regional Queensland. They have prevailed and the people here in the southeast will equally prevail.
It just keeps getting worse. More than 80,000 homes and businesses are now without power. Energex says the blackouts could last for days as inspectors check damaged substations. And with scenes like this, they're not taking any chances. The Brisbane River peaked at just over 4 metres this afternoon, engulfing the central business district, forcing evacuations. The rising waters weave through streets and properties. Skyscrapers are now surrounded by water, their basements filling up. Yesterday it was a potential evacuation centre. Today Suncorp Stadium turned into a water park, the home of rugby league, a playground for paddlers. At South Bank, the lagoon is about to be inundated. The flood now stretches from Toowoomba to the sea. Water has risen into 50 Brisbane suburbs. By tomorrow morning, 20,000 properties will be swamped. 40,000 will have some water damage.
Look, I'm feeling a sense of history. I'm feeling a sense of horror and awe about the power of the river. And I'm just constantly thinking about the people whose livelihoods are going down that river in front of our eyes.
Amid the community's spirit, despicable acts, looting of homes and businesses.
Police are out and about patrolling and they will be in the days to come to prevent this sort of activity. I think the entire community reacts with disgust when we see people take advantage of those people who are suffering this event.
At hospitals across the city, staff and patients are stranded.
We're going to be quite hard work today because we're on a skeleton staff. A lot of our staff couldn't get in.
Residents who lived through the 1974 floods say at least this time they've had a chance to prepare and evacuate. Around 2,000 people are expected to spend tonight at one of the 5 evacuation centres now set up in Brisbane. It's likely 5,000 more will be forced from their homes when the flood peaks tomorrow morning.
Persons just taking precautionary measures to make sure that themselves and their families are safe.
Anyone who can stay elsewhere has been asked to do so. 5 gates are now partly closed at Wivenhoe Dam, reducing the unprecedented levels of water being released. Still, all flood signs suggest tomorrow will be one for the record books.
It's like life-changing. It's very numbing.
Kim Scubris, 7 News.
Well, with so many homes already underwater, evacuation centres in Brisbane are filling up quickly and they're ready for another wave as the river continues to rise.
It's a story that's been going for weeks.
We just went past Kenny Street and her house is completely submerged.
Today, yet another devastating chapter in Queensland's ongoing flood crisis was written. In 1974, the finally was used to rescue people. Today, it was back in action at Kenmore.
Just helping anyone out that needs it, just getting them in and out. As the waters rose, people got a little bit panicky and had to get out, so we just do what we can do.
While the heavens finally stopped punishing the southeast, the damage has already been done.
We can take no comfort from that blue sky. The water and the rain have already done their damage. They are in the catchment and they are on their way down our river system.
Suburbs to the city's west, Fairfield, Jindalee, Graceville and Oxley, took the brunt of the punishment. Emergency crews were kept busy. The water didn't discriminate as it seeped across the ground.
This is the second incident for me. I was here in the 74 flood in a street nearby.
They just don't want to leave. Yeah, they're up to their waist in water in the house and trying to get stuff out.
The river broke its banks here in the city on today's low tide. The water in this car park has risen a metre in a little over an hour. So really no one knows what to expect tomorrow morning at 4 o'clock when it's expected to peak at 5.5 metres, which is higher than the 1974 flood. Next door at the QUT campus, a high-voltage generator was swamped, prompting concerns the water could be electrified. Over at the RNA evacuation centre, there was no fun of the fair. Just a steady stream of the newly homeless and businesses donating food and other supplies. Jackie and Jono Mutama were married on Saturday in Tasmania. Their Ipswich home is isolated. They'll spend their honeymoon here. He's promised to shout her a proper one when it's all over.
You're not wrong, mate, I'll tell you that.
We'll keep him to that?
Yep, I sure will.
The Prime Minister dropped in to lend her support to these Australians.
How are you going? You all right? Yeah? Good boy.
The normally lazy Brisbane River is now a bloated, raging torrent and a great photo opportunity.
This incident is not a tourist event. This is a deeply serious natural disaster. Stay in your homes, do not travel unless it is absolutely necessary.
What is necessary is sandbagging. At Newmarket, it's being done at a frantic pace. Nervous homeowners used whatever means possible to get them home. You think this will be enough?
Probably not. Our backyard's already under.
For now, Brisbane is waiting for the worst, but hoping for the best. Patrick Condren, 7 News.